Humans have been celebrating moms and the things they do for millennia. In ancient Egypt, they celebrated the goddess Isis as the mother of Horus, who was the first pharaoh. In ancient Greece and Rome, they celebrated mother goddesses Cybele and Rhea, both of which had cults surrounding them. If you're gonna have a cult, one that is centered around mothers is probably a better route to go. The Romans had several festivals to celebrate mother goddesses. Most of these were in the spring. During the festivals of Hilaria, a statue of the goddess Cybele would be carried through the streets, followed by a display of arts and crafts. However, these pagan deities would not hold the spotlight forever. As Christianity took hold of Europe, they too would celebrate mothers. The early Christian church used these old festivals to celebrate the Virgin Mary. To honor the Virgin Mary, believers would leave flowers and gifts at the church that they were baptized in. However, it wouldn't be until the 16th century that individual mothers rather than mother goddesses or biblical matriarchs would be celebrated. England would declare this to be Mothering Day. However, English colonists in America would discontinue the tradition of Mothering Day because they kinda had a hostile wilderness to deal with, and that Mothering Day was still too Catholic for Puritans. In 1870, Julia Howe, author of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, made her own Mother's Day proclamation. However, Howe's Mother's Day of June 2nd wouldn't catch on, but the idea took root. In 1908, Anna M. Jarvis would petition her church in West Virginia to adopt May 10th as Mother's Day. After years of petitioning state governments and Congress, President Woodrow Wilson would sign Mother's Day into official recognition in 1914 to be on the second Sunday of May.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. That includes you sisters, the ones who support, all you brethren and sisters who support this truth, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, I'm going to kind of make a twofold video so I don't have to do two videos on this topic, but basically it's similar, you know, going into Christianity, Mother's Day, right, and the sacrifice, right? So when you look at Mother's Day, I put this little clip in here, and is whoever this man was, I just wanted to show that it was linked to Christianity. He didn't want to go into the wicked aspect of it, but the link to Christianity with the Virgin Mary. This is where you get the Immaculate Conception going back, and a lot of them will say it go back to Rome, Greece, but it goes back to Babylon, even ancient Samaria, Babylon, hell, even Egypt. So these things, each empire has adopted, you know, a new genre in the Queen of Heaven, because that's all Mother's Day is. You know, of course, when Father's Day come, the hell with them, right? You know, like the Mother's Day with the breast cancer awareness, that's another Mother's Day, right? But prostate cancer awareness is not on nowhere near on the level. So you can see the separation and how this society worships the Queen of Heaven. Now they managed to take the image of baby Jesus, right, and put it in Mary's lap, right? And this is what women do. Women love those little images of the little infants, which is nothing wrong with that, you know, but they worship that, not as the person who's grown up to be the adult, because you're not the same person you was when you was an infant. That's just how you got in this world. But the society worships the Queen of Heaven. And when you come into the truth, and even some of you sisters that may come into this truth, it's hard to get away from situations like this, especially if you're a mother and a daughter, you know. It's, you know, but we're going to go into what Yahushua said, you know, and some of you Jakes too. You know, it gets, you know, for some of you who are new coming in or maybe fighting with that, right? Exodus 20 says, this is the reason why we're screwed up. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Right? Let's go to Matthew 12. And then we'll get more in the origins of this Mother's Day crap, right? It says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Now the Messiah, this is talking about the one you call Jesus, he didn't have a Mother's Day. Right? He didn't worship Mother's Day, okay? And all you Christians are worshiping holidays that have nothing to do with what the Messiah represented. There will be a Father's Day, right? The day of the Lord. That now you can say, okay, there's going to be a true Father's Day, right? When the Heavenly Father comes to bring judgment, Okay? And it says, then one said unto him, Behold, my mother and my brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother, and who is my brethren? Notice he didn't say, Who is my father? Now, he did have a biological father. This is why we cut out that Queen of Heaven crap, man. But he has his true father, his heavenly father. But who is my mother, and who is my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren, right? For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven. This also proves he had an earthly father. That's why he said, my Father, which is in heaven. The same is my brother and sister and mother, right? This is what he's saying. This doesn't sound like the Mother's Day that we hear of today. So where did this stuff come from, right? We'll go to Jeremiah. I'll try to make this short. We'll go to Jeremiah 7 and 16. Therefore pray not for this people, neither lift up a cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercessions to me, for I will not hear thee. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the woman knead the dough, and to make cakes unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto the other gods, and they may provoke me to anger. So we can see this in Mark, I believe 7 verse 7, where it says with the cups and the pots, you know, they get together. You see the grandma in a china cabinet. She got all the cups and pots. And they, well, let me get that real quick. I believe it's in Mark the 7th chapter. And we'll get back to this, right? Mark 7 and 7. Howbeit is in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrine the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandments of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as washing of pots and cups, and many other such things like ye do, right? So, going back to ancient Sumeria, Babylon, because this is what we're going into, Babylon, where they worship Semiramis, the Queen of Heaven, who claimed, with Nimrod, who claimed that the sun beamed into her, right? And she got pregnant. Now, when you rewind, where they supposedly killed Nimrod, pine trees sprung up. That's why they call them evergreen trees, because they last throughout the seasons. And that's when they said in Jeremiah 10, you must cut the tree and put it in your house and deck it with silver and gold. That's your Christmas aspect. But then you go on to the Mother's Day aspect, which they will call it Ishtar, which is Easter. So when the sun beamed to her, she got pregnant. She had a son named Tammuz. Tammuz, like the rabbit, so to speak. And then a pig killed Tammuz. So she commissioned everybody to kill a pig on Easter, on the time of Easter during the solstice or whatever. And so forth and so on. And the symbol of the fertility was the egg. That's why they put Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, Tammuz, and the egg. So when you see, fast forward and you see Jesus, Salakia, when you see Virgin Mary and baby Jesus, that is actually Semiramis and Tammuz. That's what you're looking at. That's why you would have it on what you call an Easter Sunday. And that's why on Easter Sunday, you have the eggs. So you put it all together. This has nothing to do with true Christianity. That's why we know Christianity is completely fraudulent. Okay? In every generation or every century that comes into play, it's some newfound addition to the Queen of Heaven. So when you see Christmas, when you see Ishtar, Easter, when you see Valentine's Day, when you see, which also the Romans and the Greeks adopted it as well. So when you see Mother's Day is incorporated into all those days. That's one of the highest holidays, or what you want to call. They call it holly after the holly branch. It had nothing to do with holy, but that's one of the highest holidays that really is represented with all of that. So it's pure corruption. So it goes on to say, let's go on back. I'm gonna jump on down. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices, and eat flesh. And this is why when Mother's Day come, everybody gathers together, right? And they go into Applebee's or Cactus Willie's or Friendly's or whatever restaurant they can get into, right? And they'll carry their mother to the finest restaurants. This is why even to this day, when you're carrying a woman to a restaurant and she wants you to pay for it, that's a representation of Mother's Day. It's the Queen of Heaven. Mother's Day is nothing more than the worship of the Queen of Heaven, and that's all it is. It's to take everything out of order. The chivalry, which if you want to hold the door for somebody or hold the door for a woman, that's fine. But really, you're supposed to be the protector. So in a sense, she can hold the door for you too. I'm just saying. And to each his own. But anyway, but they hearkened not to incline thine ear, but walked into their counsels and in the imaginations of their evil hearts, and went backward and not forward. Since the day your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, right, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearken not unto me. And that's what we're doing. We're out there every week. We're doing videos daily. And it's what you see. They still not listening, right? Nor incline their ear, but harden their neck. They did worse than their fathers, right? So this generation is even worse, right? Therefore, thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken to thee. Thou shalt not call unto them, but they will not answer thee. But thou shalt say unto them, this is a nation that obeyeth not the voice of the Lord their God, nor receiveth correction. Truth is perished, and is cut off from their mouth. Cut off from thine hair, O Jerusalem, and cast away, and take up a lamentation on the high gates, for the Lord have rejected and forsaken the generation of his wrath. Right? So this is why we prophesy of the famines and the plagues and the pestilence and all the things going to come. I remember in the book of Lamentation, he said his people have reached their iniquity. Right? Here we go. For the children of Judah have done evil in my sight, saith the Lord. They have set their abomination in the house which is called by my name to pollute it. And this is what they've done. They've managed to go to these churches. They've managed to get in those sepulchre or tombs of churches. They're the dead with the dead. When they roll a dead casket up in there and go to bury somebody, you see dead people with the dead. That's all it is. And they're going in there on Sunday. Not the sun, S-O-N, but S-U-N. Why is that? Again, that goes to the worship of Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, and the sun, Tammuz, after the light. That's why the sun is spelt that way. But it's after the light. That's what they worship. Okay? The sun gods, even going back to Egypt. Isis, Horus. Anyway, it says, and they have built an high place of Tophet, right, which is in the valley of the son of Hinnom, right, which goes back to Gehenna, by the way, because I read that a while back with Gehenna, where they made sacrifices, right, and it says, to burn their sons and their daughters in the fire, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my heart. So the children of Israel, what we've done, we've never always got away from Yahweh. We thought we were still with him, but we've adopted what we believe in our practices, and then we've merged them to other gods. That's why he said, thou shalt have no other God beside me. That's what we've managed to do. And then we felt we would get closer to Yahweh by sacrificing our children. Now, we see this thing called the parent plan thing, right? It's nothing new. And when you grab your, when I was young, way back in the day, my mama put me on a suit and tie on Easter, right? And put me on some shiny shoes and walked me up into the church. She didn't know any better. And I know she didn't know. In a sense, she was trying to make a better person for me. But see, the Lord has blinded her. But the beautiful thing about being blinded, I still, even though I knew it was wrong, I still maintained the connection with the Bible. So all I needed to do was open up, my spirit open up so I can really see what the Bible is about. That's why a lot of us come out of different religions, right? Some brothers come out of Islam, Mormons, or whatever else, but we all kind of rooted with that Christianity. The Lord said he was going to cut us off and we would be blinded. But now we're waking up, and this is what nobody can stand. This is why they send their crusaders, their Jesuits, to try to shut us back down, but it's not working. Anyway, for they shall bury in Tophet till there be no place. And the carcasses of this people shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven, right? And for the beasts of the earth, and none shall fray them away. Then I will cause to cease from the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem the voice of mirth. We can see this in the book of Ecclesiastes, where he said the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right? We can see this also in the book of Isaiah 14, where it talks about the pomp shall be brought low, his excellency, right? And a voice of gladness, the voice of bridegroom, and a voice of bride, for the land shall be desolate. And that's what's coming. America is going to be another form of Gehenna, right? Just on a super large scale. Okay? So I just wanted to touch on that real quick on this Mother's Day madness. I have no idea why you need a day to do something that you were responsible for doing anything. I mean, anyway, if you were supposed to be a mother, then why do you need any recognition for being a mother? If I'm supposed to be a father, then I'm just supposed to be a father. That's my job. Even when you go to work, if your job is a cashier, I don't think they give you a cashier's day. That's something you're supposed to do. Well, hell, let's give Mother Day to the puppies and to the dogs and everything else, because they're mothers and probably better mothers than some mothers, human mothers. There's no Mother's Day for them, but hey, leave it up to this society. The bottom line is things that you're supposed to do, you don't need no extra recollection for. I mean, some extra accolades for. You don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? You gave birth. Your job is, it's almost saying that you need accolades or recognition for doing something that comes natural to you. In other words, it must not come natural to you. That's why when you do it, you need extra recognition because you did it. So you mean to tell me changing the diapers, your child growing up, and you making a sacrifice to make them a better person, you need recognition for it? To me, the only reason why you would need recognition for it is because you feel you're not supposed to do it in the first place, but you went out of your way to do it, like winning a championship. Then you get recognition. So it doesn't make sense. That's all I have on that. Shalom.